Okay, it says we're alive. You ever have one of those days where you're running, and things aren't working and the computer's not working? And that's kind of how today has been for me. Sorry that I'm a few minutes late, everyone. That's life. Life sometimes happens. Things go crazy. So we are going to talk about cleaning your plate won't feed one single starving child. And I'm sure you have heard that before, either from a parent or from a grandparent, that you need to clean your plate when you're eating their meal that they're providing for you guys. So that's tuning in today. If you're coming in here live with me, do let me know, just like Susan did. Welcome, Susan. Hello, and thank you for jumping in here today. Thanks, my friend. Um, if you're coming in on the replay, do let me know where you're coming in from. It's always cool to find out where everybody is tuning in from, and then I will give you a shout out after the fact. So while being that human garbage disposal, like I mentioned yesterday, um, you want to be able to determine how much you eat. Cleaning your plate doesn't help you really. It's not going to save a starving child. It's not going to be able to be sent across the world or anything like that. Hello, Beth. Thanks, my friend, for popping in here today. That's awesome. So like I said, your parents have said that, or your grandparents have said that to you, and you're like, well, then you feel bad and you feel guilty, and we're not listening to the needs of our body, and we aren't supposed to let other people dictate what we put in our mouths. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. But first off, like I said, welcome to my page, and welcome to my community. For those of you who are jumping in here, that's awesome. And like I said, if you're coming in on the replay, do let me know. That's pretty cool too. So my name is Heather Edmondson, as it says right there. And I assist others reach their health and fitness goals through coaching, mentorship, and accountability. So let's kick those sugar cravings to the curb, and hopefully you can get some ideas of some of the things that I'm going to share with you today. I'm getting all of these ideas and all these tips from the Emotional Eater's Book of Inspiration, and there's 90 little chapters in there, and I'm sharing a chapter with you every day. So hopefully that's going to help you and assist you in your health journey, in your nutrition journey, your fitness journey, whatever. And Susan said, yes, she was told that as a kid all the time. And most of us were. That's just what we told everybody. Or like I said, the grandparents told us, your baba or your nana or whatever would always say, have another scoop of this, dear, and whatever, and clean your plate because I can't send this. We didn't have microwaves back when I was a kid. That's how old I am. Sorry, guys, but that's how old I am. So we've all heard this saying, like I said, at least once in our life, and clean your plate. Like I said, your nana or whatever you call her, Oma, Mima. Some of them call them Mima. They've all said that to us in our past. So, like I said, it would put a guilt trip on us as a child for sure, and establishing those bad eating habits right when you were a child. You don't want to instill that in. I'm trying not to say that to our grandchildren. I'm trying to make sure that they do eat healthy and nutritious options or whatever. But if they can't finish whatever's been put on their plate, maybe it's because I've had too much bigger eyes than their stomach, and I've put too much food on their plate for them. But then if they don't eat it, I save it and put it in a container and put it in the fridge, and they can have it when they get up from their nap or anything like that. So you want to teach your kids to remind themselves to listen to their bodies, as I've mentioned yesterday. And as adults, we've forgotten that. We've forgotten to listen to our bodies, and we keep eating because the food is there and it's good, and you fill your plate, and you don't let your body get that sensation of feeling full yet because you're shoving the food in faster than your body can register almost. This horrible guilt feeling, as I was mentioning, and it's like already establishing those bad eating habits or those bad feelings around food, because you're guilted into eating by, like I said, your mother or your father or your like a grandparent. or even your aunties and uncles. We'll leave that. So leaving the food on your plate doesn't mean that you're being wasteful. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person. You can save it. Like I said, I mentioned with my grandkids, I'll just save their whatever they didn't have, and they can have it later. Or if my eyes are too big for my stomach and I fill my plate full, I'm really trying to make a conscious effort about listening to when I am full, because like I said, we usually do eat way too much in a meal, and then we feel awful after. So then I'll just put it into a container and save it for my next meal. And when somebody has said something like that, is you, because you're the one that can make the choice. I mean, as a kid, you probably couldn't make the choice. I remember sitting at the table one time gagging on my oatmeal because it was so cold and awful, and there was a whole big bowl of it, and actually like oatmeal now. It's weird, but I remember gagging on it and almost throwing up because just the sensation in my mouth, the texture and all that was horrible. So I couldn't leave the table until it was done. I remember my parents doing that with some other meals, and beef stroganoff was another one. It was just awful. It was horrible. So, and I actually eat those things now. So it was crazy. So Beth is saying, oh, here she says something about her grandchildren. I let my grandchildren choose their portions themselves. They are more apt to eat what they have chosen. That's correct. But I mean, when they're smaller, it's a little bit harder. You have to put the plates of stuff there. And Susan was laughing at me. The fullness feeling doesn't come until 15 or 20 minutes later. Yeah, like I said, your body has to have that time to feel the sensation. So I've also often been told too that you take a bite and then you put your fork down, and then you take a bite and you put your fork down. Being a nurse, and when we'd have our short breaks, you'd be just shoveling the food in to get it in so that you could go back to your shift. And so I got in the habit of eating really fast, and then the habit of when our kids were all little. We had 4 kids in 5 years, so if you wanted to get something to eat, you had to scoop it in there pretty fast. And it's a really bad habit to get into, because then, yeah, you do overeat because your body hasn't had that feeling or that sensation yet to feel that you're full. So it's okay to eat slower and to chew your food, and then you don't choke on it either because you're shoveling it in there so fast. So if you want to actually help others that maybe they don't have the abundance of food that we are able to have here in Canada, you can contribute to them through other means, not by saving your food that's on your plate, because that would never get to them anyway. But you can contribute to an organization if you wanted to donate money to it, or you can even, there's different organizations that will send them beef cows or poultry or sheep or I don't know, any of those things, and they learn how to raise them, and then they learn how to butcher them, and then they use them as a source of food. So you can also do that if you wanted to actually benefit these countries or these certain people that maybe don't have as much as we do here in Canada. That we're pretty lucky that way. So don't guilt yourself into eating too much and unnecessarily. Like I said, saying that thing over to yourself about, trying to feed somebody is not going to benefit anybody. Fall into that depression, and it's just a downward spiral because you beat yourself up and I ate too much now, and now I feel awful, and you have a stomach ache, and then you feel like you want to throw up, and it's a horrible feeling. So the truth that we link to those foods and putting it together with that sentence that your parents have said is very, very powerful, and it does affect us throughout our lifetime. And maybe this is something a guilt that we are carrying around with us, and we aren't able to move forward around our food, what do we call it? Emotions around their food. And maybe that's what we're carrying in our past is some of these guilty feelings, and the feelings of denial, or feelings of being inadequate, or feelings of being wasteful because you're wasting all those little bits that you're leaving on the food. So like I said, maybe we're setting ourselves up, or our grandchildren or children for creating complex feelings around food that are totally unnecessary, and that can end up leading to eating and not eating, and bad eating habits and what do they call it? With starvation mode, any of those things, and those are huge problems that these people have to end up having maybe some psychological help or psychiatric help to get through these feelings that they have around food. So we don't want to end up pushing people into something like that. We end up telling ourselves food lies again, like I've mentioned before. If you've caught any of my lives, we say, well, but I'm really helping out if I'm actually cleaning my plate. Well, are you really helping out when you're cleaning your plate? You're helping out Nana or Grandma or you that beautiful dinner or whatever it was, but you're actually creating that overeating and then using it as an excuse to overeat because you want to make that person happy, then say that you're enjoying their meal by eating as much as you do. And then, like I said, you have that guilt and or you end up going to the bathroom. Some people have gone to the bathroom and they've been thrown up when they've had a big meal like that. So that's a horrible thing to get into purging yourself like that too. That's awful. So if you truly want to make a difference in somebody's life and somebody that's maybe not as fortunate, as I said, as we are here, most of us in Canada, like I said, find a charity that is near and dear to your heart and contribute to that. Maybe save a little bit in your budget every week or every month, whatever it is for you, and donate to that charity because that's going to go more or donate to the food bank in your own community. And that can help, especially right now with so many people out of work and with all this lockdown still going on in so many places. There's still lots of people that aren't back to work. So there's lots of people that are in dire needs of a little assistance if that's what you were able to give. So that's a very nice thing to be able to do, is to help others that are maybe not in the situation that you are in. So relieve the guilt that's surrounding yourself and banish all those excuses that will no longer serve you, and you will experience the gratitude from being able to make a difference in your donations and instead of thinking that you're doing something well by eating it and putting it in your stomach. So I hope you found some value in that today. I do have some PDFs of the recipes that I'm using right now in the weight loss challenge and fitness challenge. The doors are open for that. I can help you. And this one that I'm participating in right now is finished. It just rolls over right into the next one. I do have, like I said, recipes from that if that would interest you. And if you found some value in some of the things that I shared with you today, by all means, pass it around and to whoever might benefit from it. And have yourself a wonderful day. And we will see you all tomorrow. Yay!